Let's go. Okay, so yeah, we're live. So we have Sue Ennis from Hut 8. Hi, Sue.
Hi, such a pleasure to be speaking with BLONITY, the man, the legend. I'm really pumped about this call today.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm very excited too because yeah, a lot of stuff is happening in the space, in the mining space. Yeah, stocks are looking not so good right now, but we have seen this before. It's up and down. But over the year, I mean, these stocks are up like crazy. But yeah, I received a few questions from my Patreons. I asked them yesterday, and yeah, I would um, suggest that I start with asking some questions,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
yeah, you could try to answer this. So I think the first topic right now, I was talking about this 2 days ago about all this shorting on these exchanges there, especially with the crypto stocks. So the question here is, do you have an opinion about this, or what's the opinion when you're in this company?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you guys think about this?
Yeah. So, you know, the tough part about Canada is that it has some of the most lenient and relaxed rules when it comes to shorting out of almost any other country in the world. Um, we definitely feel that pressure, and it's quite frustrating for all of us who are traded in Canada here. But I think at the end of the day, if you go back to the fundamentals of the company, the fact that institutions haven't actually begun making their allocations yet in the crypto mining space. So I posted something on Twitter today, um, that spoke about if you think Bitcoin is digital gold, and you go back to the history of institutional adoption of gold. Historically speaking, when gold rallies, usually the institutions then start making investments into the ancillary actual gold equity, so the gold mining stocks, anywhere from 6 to 9 months later. And this is a historical, very high level parallel. So what I'm getting at is, yes, does the shorting hurt us? For sure. But we're still in the first innings of the actual investors who are coming into the space, the actual long and sticky money that is coming into the space. I've said this on podcasts before. The amount of calls I get, I've been in the industry for about 4 years. Um, so the amount of calls I get now, and the caliber of investor who is calling me now versus who used to call me when I was on the trade desk at CoinSquare, which is one of Canada's largest exchanges back in 2017, is incredible. I would say almost daily I have calls from multi-billion-dollar funds from really all over the world wanting to learn about how the crypto mining space works, how we make money, how we look at hodling, and so that's why, yes, there is some short-term short pain, but I think the real adoption is still yet to be seen on the crypto mining side. We're seeing it in the Bitcoin side, yes, but we're still in the first innings of what kind of adoption can happen in the mining side of business of things. So is it frustrating and does it hurt short term? Yes, but long term, I see nothing but extraordinary upside. Again, just based on who I have unsolicited calling me to try and learn more about this space, and it's really exciting. Even like, oh my god, even for example, Michael Saylor, retweeted our operational update. I think back in February when we first released our first balance of 3,000
Yeah,
bitcoins,
that
and then
that was great.
yeah, it was amazing. And then I think he actually liked our next update where we released we have 3,233 bitcoins. But he actually messaged me about a week ago to talk to me about sort of, what are the costs that go into mining, like how do I value, exahash and output. So it was so incredible to
Wow.
even see guys like Michael Saylor messaging me being like, hey, can you help sort of shed light on this as I continue to sort of talk about this space. So yes, the short hurts, but guys, I see tremendous upside once we actually see this institutional uptick. So
Yeah.
sorry, that was a long-winded answer, but that's our opinion. And I'm very excited.
Yeah, I think the same. I think they need more time. I mean, as a retail investor, you can, yeah, decide today I will put some money into Hut 8, But as an
Exactly.
institutional investor, you have to ask everyone on the board and wherever. I think Michael Saylor described this very well, the process. So and they are starting to learn right now, and they will invest in this because yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
if you're convinced about Bitcoin, it's the digital gold, the store of value, and probably money in the future.
Yeah.
And yeah, you guys produced this stuff, and there are only 2 million bitcoins left for the next 100 years to be mined. So
Yeah.
there's will be huge competition, and yeah, I think these companies will grow to giants. But I think we're very early, and yeah, no, there are not a lot of people they understand the whole thing. I think here
Totally.
my Patreons they understand it because yeah, I try
Mhm.
to educate them, and we have very good conversations here also on Discord.
Mhm.
So I think that's a very good development here. But I think the overall market is very driven by fear and greed and not by fundamentals right now.
But that's, I totally agree with you on that. But that's what's exciting, like I said, as someone who's actually taking the calls and having the one-on-one conversations with these institutions. Guys, the eyes are on us. Have the dollars come here yet? No. I mean, Fidelity has owned us for quite some time, which is fabulous. And institutions do like that. That's sort of one of their peers has already, dipped into the HUD 8. But it's it's incredible to see the amount of research being done by these big boys and big players. And I think we'll see a real flow of capital very soon into the mining stocks, because the due dil that's going on right now is quite extensive from what I've seen, even in terms of analysts on the street. So sorry if I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but right now in the traditional financial space, there's two big guys who cover crypto mining stocks. It's Kevin Deedy out of HC Wainwright, an awesome dude, and a guy from Stifel named Deepak Kaushal.
Yeah, I
Great
know. I
guy.
know. I've read some analysis from him. I think 2 or 3 years ago about Hive blockchain and HUD 8. Yes, he was
Yeah.
the first one.
Yeah. So those are the two main guys that the traditional financial institutions sort of look to, because they're the only two guys who are actually covering mining stocks from the traditional space. But even the amount of calls I'm now getting from analysts from other investment banking firms who have never looked at the crypto before and are calling me being like, hey, see what you're doing from a hodling perspective. We like it a lot. Can you tell me a little bit about how the actual business works? It has upticked also exponentially. So,
Yeah,
anyways,
that sounds great. Yeah, very good. Yeah, so the next question is, I think you hear it a lot also on Twitter, is about the yeah potential uplisting for some US exchange. I mean, you have not confirmed anything officially, but what we can see is when we go to the SEC filings, there's some stuff going on there. So yeah, what can you say about this topic?
yeah, yeah. So all of our filings are up to date. Um, a Look, I can tell you that we're very cognizant of how well some of our peers have traded, who we are fundamentally stronger than, just by virtue of the fact that they trade where they trade in the US. Um, and you know what? Look, I can't give any substantial announcements right now on our plans in the space, but I can definitely tell you that we will update you as soon as we can. And just trust me, it kills me when I can't tell you guys stuff, because I'm a very candid communicator, but I have to listen to my legal counsel on this, and there's reasons why I have to listen to what they say, and it's great reasons. I just bear with us. We'll definitely be updating you guys as soon as we can. Just bear with us a little bit longer.
Yeah, sounds great. I mean, it's interesting that yeah, these mining companies, I think they have different strategies or different approaches. Some were talking about this officially, some not. So yeah, I'm not an expert in this, but this is a little bit confusing. But
For
I think
sure.
these are different strategies.
So
Uh,
yeah, let me address that. Let me
mhm.
address that. So one of the things about Hut 8 is we have been in the space for a very long time. We're basically one of the oldest miners in the Western Hemisphere. We have seen effectively all the different ways that things can go wrong. Okay, in a bear market, in a sideways market, in a bull market. We were one of the we were the first crypto miner to be traded on the TSX. Okay, um, and we really pride ourselves on being incredibly conservative in terms of how we announce things, when we announce things, our accounting principles as well. And guys, that's because if you want that institutional money, if you want more Fidelity like people investing in you, you have to play by their rules. So we're playing the long game here. Okay. Because we know what institutions want to see from how you manage your business, how you manage your announcements, and how you deal with expansion and how you talk about expansion. We play by the institutional rules, and we want to continue to do that because that's what they like. That's how we've
Mhm.
earned investors like Fidelity from the get go.
Okay, yeah, got it.
And just one quick thing about our accounting principles on the conservative side of things. So our cost per coin includes all of the costs that go into what it takes to mine a Bitcoin versus the the bulk of our peers only report the cost of electricity. And we think, again, back to sort of catering to the institutions, that's wildly misleading because it's not just here's electricity, here's a machine, and then out spits a Bitcoin. You have to calculate the OPEX, the distribution, the cost that you paid the guy to, make sure the machine was up and running. So that includes all of our costs into each price per coin, which again, when you're comparing us to everyone else, you have to look at who's actually giving you the real cost per business versus who's just giving you electricity. So, anyways, that's just a little side note.
Yes, yeah, that sounds very good. Because I think, yeah, the institutional investors will make the difference here. And yeah, I think they need a little bit more time, but yeah, hopefully your approach is the right one to get these guys into this boat. And yeah, really appreciate this one. Okay, yeah, can you elaborate a little bit about the Validus partnership and what we can expect from this, and yeah, maybe the overall expansion plans, because yeah, it's all about expansion in this space right now.
Yeah. So you're talking about the Validus 100 megawatts?
Yes, for example, I think
Mhm.
you said in the statement there that this is the beginning. Is there coming more with this Validus partnership, or yeah, what is going on
Yeah.
there?
So you'll see in the PR it says significant optionality to expand beyond that. We'll be able to update you guys on what exactly that looks like very shortly. We're still sort of hammering out the bigger terms. Like we're just still sort of hammering that out in the background right now. But when we say significant, like please you like that is a very substantial statement in that PR that the ability to move past just the 100 megawatts. Um, yeah, we're really pumped also that this is going to start as being an expansion in Canada. From a jurisdictional safety perspective, Canada is the place to be, particularly in Alberta, because it's an oil and gas province that unfortunately put a lot of their eggs into the Keystone pipeline going through, but Joe Biden unfortunately canceled that. So they have been incredibly welcoming and accommodating to the jobs and the income that we bring. And now this additional capacity expansion, again, more jobs, more income for them. So we're really excited about that. Um, and yeah, I mean, look, we're definitely going to keep updating you guys very shortly about sort of more details on what that looks like. And yeah, we're really pumped too that it also includes the flare gas narrative. I can also tell you that institutions really like that. They're very interested in what we're doing in that space on the flare gas side of things, because I think one of the things that some of our hydro powered guys have been called out on. Um, and that we've sort of been called out on when we've sort of looked at the hydropower space is that number one, in Quebec, the government actually, there's a bit of a contentious relationship between the government and the crypto miners in Quebec, just because, sometimes the government feels as though that they are stealing from their grid and the clean energy initiatives. There's also been some talk around how hydropower actually is damaging to ecosystems. So, sort of the environmental benefits aren't really there if ecosystems are getting damaged, right? So point is we've seen quite a good response to this flare gas initiative because about 30 to 50% of general flare gas stacks are inefficient, and this flare gas obviously just gets excreted into the atmosphere and it's very pollutive. And oil and gas miners, if they go past a certain amount of flare gas excreted, they actually by law have to shut down production. So they're incredibly incentivized to have guys like us come in, capture this excess flare gas that would otherwise be going into the atmosphere, otherwise have to shut them down, and turn that into digitized energy. So from an ESG perspective, we're really pumped about this narrative because it is, how are we reducing that excess waste being emitted into the atmosphere? So we're
Yeah,
really
that's
excited about that.
yeah. I think this is going to be very important to have this stuff like yeah, this flare gas. I think this is good for the ESG and for the PR and all these things. Um, yeah, you announced that yeah you want to have it like 100 megawatt in this initial contract. So, but the electricity alone it does not generate any Bitcoin. So, are there any
Yeah.
plans
Yeah.
about Bitcoin mining, or is this another topic here, another diversification in revenue? So, can you talk a little bit about this one?
For sure, for sure. So right now we've got about 24,000 machines that are fully mining and in the money. We've got a full multi-generational fleet of equipment that's doing incredibly well. We've got those 5,400 micro BTs coming online. We've installed I think about 400 of them. And then we have those NVIDIA GPU miners coming on in June and being installed in June. That will, at current rates, will equal an extra 2.5 Bitcoin per day. This is at current rates. So, so that's all the equipment that's coming online by end of June. And hopefully I'm actually going to be able to show you guys in our next PR what this additional gigahash is going to mean in terms of petahash. I have to just make sure that I'm quoting the formula that my head of tech is using. Um, so so
So,
so
so,
that's
these GPUs, do they these 1.6 terahash, will they arrive all in June, or is this the first batch?
no. This is 16 about 1600 gigahash that's going to
Yeah.
be installed and arrived in June, the entire fleet.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, and the thing that's great is it's NVIDIA. So they're very transparent about shipping and deal terms, and they've been a real pleasure to work with. Versus some of the other equipment providers don't always have transparent deal terms. We got one deal term from a provider. I'm not going to say who it is, but it's one of the big ones who out of China, who basically said, we can't guarantee that machine equipment is going to be delivered not broken.
Okay.
You have to give us $10 million, but we can't really guarantee when this equipment's actually even going to be delivered and if it's going to be delivered not broken. So those are deal terms that, quite frankly, we're not going to sign. And so NVIDIA has been such a fabulous partner that we're so excited to continue to grow our relationship with them. Anyhow, in terms of this extra 100 megawatts, we absolutely would not be spending this incredible amount of money on electricity unless we had the equipment plans to fill that. We're keeping our cards close to our chest for now, just because of the crazy sort of front running dynamics that are happening right now. I think actually Frank from Hive said the same thing on one of his earnings calls
Yes.
that, yeah, we're keeping our cards close to our chest. But I can tell you, we wouldn't be spending this much money on that much power and this substantial of a partnership unless we knew how to, you know, make that into a mining operation, if you hear what I'm saying. So,
Yeah, I hear it. Yeah, I think yeah, right now there's a crazy thing with this chip shortage going on in the world, and yeah, I mean everyone tries to get as much hash rate as he can. So yeah, I think the yeah, some companies they announced like, yeah, we want to have 10 exahash next year, and yeah, they're front running this thing a little bit. But I think that you guys also have these plans. Yeah, it would be interesting to know a little bit about more about this. But I think this is difficult to talk about this. I mean, there is still Bitfury, I think, in the game with their
yeah,
possibly 5
absolutely.
nanometers chips. They will yeah announce maybe in summer or so. So yeah.
Yeah, you also have to remember, like, so look, I mean, I know there's been drama with Bitfury selling, and that is what it is.
Yes.
We still have a great relationship with, I mean, there's like 50 people on that team. We still have a great relationship with them from a tech provider perspective. So yeah, these guys can come to market. They've even, tweeted publicly saying that we're their preferred Canadian partner. Jamie is also has been in the tech and transformation and data center space for 20 years. So she's very cognizant of things like Moore's law. If you blow all your money paying peak prices for equipment that is, 2 years old right now, you potentially put yourself at major risk of, if new equipment or new technology comes online in the next couple months and you don't have the cash to be able to make an investment in that, because instead you've blown your gasket on legacy equipment. That's something that she's very cognizant of as well. Also, the machines that we bought last year are currently for like 20 to 30 bucks a terahash, are currently going for like $120 a terahash. So again, balance sheet protection is another thing we're really, really cognizant of, because even as the difficulty in mining goes up, obviously your profit margins get squeezed, right? So how, if you're paying peak prices in bull market cycles, but then the profit margins begin to squeeze, how are you going to pay off that equipment? Like, how are you going to keep the health of your balance sheet and your income statement? Again, that's what institutions want to see, guys. They want to see that balance sheet management. I get it that the headlines are awesome. And as a retail investor, I'm an investor. My parents, my whole family is invested in Hut 8. Um, I get it from a retail perspective, what you want to see, but from an institutional perspective, there's a different and deeper balance sheet strength that you have to show them in order to get that money. And that's what we are very cognizant of in all decisions that we make. So,
Yeah, I think Peter Wall from Argo, he calls it smart growth, and I think
yeah.
yeah, that's the approach here. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, I think. So yeah, thank you for that answer. So I got another question about PR or investor relations, which is yeah your topic. So yeah, we have seen you and Jamie Leverton on YouTube recently, and yeah,
Hmm.
what are the plans there to increase this? I mean, yesterday I think there was some meetings scheduled with Meet Kevin, so he has a
Yeah.
huge subscriber base, but yeah, it was cancelled. So yeah, what was the reason, and what are the plans
Yeah.
here to increase the investor relations here?
Yeah. So we were really excited about that. That was too bad. But hold on, I'll read the message I got from his people. We got an email yesterday basically saying from his assistant Kathy saying that uh there was there's some legalities right now with Kevin being able to do interviews for the time being. And that they're sorting that out until he starts getting back on the interview circuit again. But that we're going to reschedule. So that's the email that we got from
Okay.
his assistant Kathy yesterday. That was not cancellation on our end at all. We were very excited to talk to Kevin, and based on what we're hearing from his people, they will reschedule with us as soon as possible. Moving forward, um, I personally, I love what Peter from Argo does on YouTube. I think he communicates with his investors really well. And so we will be, I've instructed my PR team to start getting that YouTube channel back up and running. Because look, we value you guys so much. Like, you're all shareholders in the business. It's so important that we're talking to you guys as well, more consistently, I think. So yeah, we are going to be, increasing our YouTube presence. I'm actually on with Zach Hartley next Thursday. His YouTube is, I think it's called Invest Answers, I believe. Hold on, let me pull it up for you. Do you know Zach Hartley?
Yeah, I don't know him, but yeah, we will Google him for sure.
He Yeah, he does the I don't know, he's got 23,000 subscribers. He does some good analysis, and so I'm on with him next week. So yes, increasing our presence on YouTube and where you guys are is a priority for us for sure. And
Okay.
like I said, I'm so pumped, Blonity, that you were open to chatting. Like, you are the man, and no one does analysis as well as you do in the space. And so I'm really excited to be chatting with you. So
Yeah,
yeah.
thank you very much. I mean, right now it's a little bit, yeah, it's a hobby for me, and it has turned into yeah something like work. And yeah, I'm doing a full-time job. I have a family and all these things, so it's a little bit
Oh,
difficult right now. But yeah, I will do this full-time in summer. So I will start this on a complete new level, I think, I will start a company, I will do consulting and all these things. So yeah, these are the plans. Right now, I do it yeah in the evening, 1 hour or so. So that's why
Mhm.
I'm sometimes not as deep into it as I would be because as I want to be because yeah, there's a lack of time right now. But yeah, this will change. I think this industry will only grow, and
Mhm.
yeah, I want to yeah run a business on this. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope you do.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so yeah, you have like 3,300 bitcoins on the balance sheet right now. And yeah, some people are a little bit concerned about this topic dilution. So yeah, they're asking what's the strategy here to hodl or to sell a little bit to cover the costs here. Can you talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, for sure. So we are hodlers at heart. I mean, do we have a price target that we will hodl until? No. I mean, let's say if Bitcoin went to 500 grand a coin, I'm sure we would consider, like I mean, we're taking a very sort of wait and see approach to sort of what the price does, but we are very, very strong believers that this asset has extraordinary appreciation potential if it does continue to especially capture gold's market cap, once the full effects of all this money printing globally come into play. And like I said, the amount of institutions who are now dipping into the space, we think it's in our shareholders' benefit and our benefit to keep hodling as much as possible. Remember, guys, we have the most self-mined Bitcoin of any publicly traded company in the world. So our peers are MicroStrategy, Tesla, and that's we like being in that sort of top 0.001 percentile of people who own this asset class. Um, Looking at ways that we can earn more money on top of this hodled coin is a big priority. Like we currently are earning 4% on 1,000 coins and a Genesis yield account. Um, eh, and sort of looking at more options like that. Like again, with this Nvidia purchase, yes, we're going to mine Ethereum with a payout in Bitcoin, but that also gives us the flexibility to play a little bit in the DeFi space. Like our head of tech, I posted about him, Jason. He's a staking yield and yield farming sort of master. That's his wheelhouse. He's actually best friends or very good friends with Ethan from Luxor Pool.
Mhm.
Ethan from Luxor is actually the one who recommended Jason to us because we said that we wanted someone who sort of knew the cutting edge sort of uh, more Ethereum side of things in mining. Um, so so look, I'm not saying we're never going to sell coin, but right now we think it's in our interest and your interest that we don't, because as this asset class matures and the amount of financial instrumentation that begins to get built on top of it and the yield and the, meaningful stuff you can do when you've got such a huge treasury reserve asset, we think the potential is huge. So, like again, I hear the feedback and like why you guys want to see maybe some of that coin sold right now,
Yeah,
but we don't want to do that
yeah,
because the
I
long
understand this. Also,
yeah,
yeah, I don't want you to sell these coins because
no,
I think the same. That's why I'm invested very big in Hard 8 because of these yeah, of these 3,300 bitcoins, I mean, I would not invest in a company or in a mining company which sells the coins immediately because, yeah,
no,
this investment money is taken away from Bitcoin, in my opinion. I'm investing in these companies because they hold Bitcoin, so yeah, it's not the same to invest in
yeah,
Bitcoin. I own Bitcoin by myself, but yeah, I think it's a nice leverage, and I don't want this money taken away from Bitcoin
no,
and to have it in the company. Yeah, so that's very important for me that these companies are holding as much as they
mhm,
can. Also
mhm,
because I mean, if you have a mining margin of 80% right now, and yeah, if the price of Bitcoin quadruples, yeah, you have a
yeah,
95% of a mining margin yeah on top of these 80%. So you can increase it to 95%. So I
yeah,
mean, this with the cost of zero, and yeah, that's what I really like with this HODL strategy. And I think you should continue with this. I really like this.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Well, and remember too, right? Like the institutional guys haven't started playing yet in the crypto mining space. And we think to attract that money, this is like our killer app to attract that money as well from the institutional space who are sort of looking at, if I'm not holding Bitcoin directly, what's my Bitcoin exposure slash reserve asset strategy? Hot 8 is that reserve asset strategy for a corporate. So, anyways.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds nice. Okay, so yeah, I got a question about Medicine Hat, and there's a solar power plant or something like this plant there, or maybe a wind farm. So I think you tweeted something like this, if yeah, 1 month or 2 months ago. So what's happening there in Alberta about these power generation expansion there, and yeah, how can Hade benefit from this?
Yeah. So I think the main takeaway from that is just that our ability to expand and the gamut of energy sources that is available to us being in that province is extraordinary. Again, Validus Power is the first partnership expansion that we're doing. But you know, where we are, there's an absolute abundance of energy for us. So I think that's more so what we were trying to get at with that tweet, that the optionality there is extraordinary. And so we're going to keep sort of building out what our presence and our partnerships look like there.
Okay, sounds.
Oh, and it also helps, FYI, it also really helps that our containers, well, number one, we own 94 of our data centers. They're also mobile, which, you guys know. Um, and that's really helpful, again, because Alberta's so windy. The ability to actually, sorry, excuse me, pivot our machines if we have to sort of leverage and capture that wind if we have to, given where the wind is blowing, is super helpful as well. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that's very interesting. This modular facility, I really like this. You're very mobile, flexible. I think this is yeah, I see it with some competitors. They are starting to build this too. I mean,
Mhm.
your facility looks better right now. Yeah, so we will see how this all plays out.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have another question about yeah, you will be yeah, you will mine Ethereum, I think, with these GPUs. I
Yeah.
think this is the priority here. And I think this makes a lot of sense to have this diversification because right now Ethereum is growing so much. But there are also risks with a proof of stake transition, ETH 2.0.
Mhm.
Yeah, do you have more insights about this, about the time scale here? Because I see, yeah, Hive is mining Ethereum. Yeah, maybe Argo is mining Ethereum. They haven't announced this, but yeah, there's some speculation about Texas. And you guys want to mine Ethereum, so it looks like that proof of stake could be yeah, a little bit further away, as some people think.
Mhm. Well, I mean, look, we took very conservative estimates before we made this purchase. We took into account, okay, so what if we move to proof of stake by July? What if it doesn't get approved till next year? What if it happens early January 2022? So we took all of the potential outcomes into consideration before we made this purchase. And again, given the supply constraints with chips, given the price, given the partner, given the actual ROI that we could make on these machines, it just made a lot of sense. So I mean, it remains to be seen sort of when, all the changes to Ethereum are actually implemented and happen. But again, we're just very happy that we were able to secure this partnership and secure this limited fleet. By the way, this particular fleet we bought, Nvidia only made a certain amount, and we got 1/3 of the total fleet. And the really cool thing too about these NVIDIA miners is that the actual servers that they run in can be repurposed into high performance computing activities. So traditional things like protein folding, machine learning, AI, rendering, let's just say Bitcoin were to go to zero and the industry went to hell, which we don't think is going to happen, but let's just say it did. We still have the servers and the technology that can help us pivot and still make money in other industries. So that's another thing that we loved about this NVIDIA purchase, on top of the ability to play into Ethereum. And also the traditional data center things like machine learning and that sort of thing is also Jamie's wheelhouse. So she knows what she's doing. That's her wheelhouse. So um, I don't
Yeah,
really know if I answered your question there. I guess the
yes.
answer is we don't. Yeah, we
Yeah, I
don't really.
mean, no one knows
Yeah,
100%.
no one
That's for
knows,
sure. No one
but
knows. But
we love the optionality. So.
yeah, that's I think with I mean with the Bitcoin miners you can only mine Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash, which no one does. But yeah, with the GPUs you're yeah, also there are different blockchains you can mine. Okay, I
Yeah.
think if Ethereum goes to proof of stake, I think yeah, it's gonna be difficult. You will not get these margins anymore on these other coins, I think. But yeah, there are different yeah, good for revenue diversification, I think, to go into
Sure.
HPC and all these things.
Yeah.
So yeah, gonna be exciting. I mean, Ethereum is running right now. I mean, it's yesterday we had a new all-time high. Okay, today we had this Bitcoin drop with a lot of FUD we have seen yesterday and the days before. But Ethereum looks very strong and it's recovering very fast. So yeah, I think Ethereum can surprise us maybe in this bull run to the upside.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all yeah with all these DeFi and these transaction fees. I think so. I really like it, but I think it's
Yeah.
important to get these cards online very fast. So
Well, and
don't lose
that was
time.
part of the strategy, right? Like that was again before we made this purchase. It was, we're not looking for a Q1 2022 Q4 installation. Part of the terms was that no, guys, this has to be installed and delivered by June. This needs to be online like Q2. This isn't a Q3 Q4 thing. So that was another really exciting part of this deal for us. So yeah.
Okay, sounds great. So yeah, do you will you guys have a new facility for these GPUs, or will this be installed in an yeah like a Medicine Hat or
Yeah. So the cool thing too about these machines is they're unbelievably efficient from a power perspective.
yeah I think
Uh,
it's maybe 10 megawatt, maybe less. I think.
Not even. It's actually so far we're forecasting again, like don't quote me on this, like, but what we're seeing from our forecasting is about approximately 4 megawatts.
Okay. So you have the top model of these cards. Nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so that's what's very exciting too from like an operations expenditure strategy. This is like top, like the like extraordinary. So, um, but yeah, I'll get back to you guys. I actually don't know where location wise they're explicitly thinking of putting them, but I can tell you that yeah, from a power perspective, it's about 4 megawatts, so it gives us a lot of optionality
Wow,
because
that's yeah, that's nothing. I mean, if you mine 2.5 bitcoins with this, yeah,
yeah,
that's very nice. Yeah, great.
yeah.
Yeah, so how much time is left for you for this interview?
I have about 5 minutes, if
Five
that's okay.
minutes. Okay,
Yeah,
so maybe one or two questions, and
sure.
then I think it is. Yeah, what do you think about M&A in this space right now? Yeah, what are the options for HUD 8 here?
Yeah, yeah. So we want to maintain our trajectory as one of the largest and most powerful miners in the Western Hemisphere, maybe the world. So we are actively looking at and making sure that we have the optionality to do meaningful M&A where we see fit. Exactly what sort of M&A would that be? I don't really have direction from that right now on from Jamie. Like I said, we're getting into the GPU space. We're making sure that what we buy can also be repurposed to high performance computing. We're doing this sort of ESG power expansion. So yeah, I can tell you for sure that we plan on being here for a very long time, and we've got real long game initiatives in mind. So I'm not really answering your question, but that's because I don't really have an answer for it. It's just that yes, M&A is on the table, and that's something that we think about in pretty much everything that we do in our long-term strategy.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. Okay, so I think I have a last question here for you. So this is a little bit a different question. I received it from one of my patrons. He asked, okay, I'm not an expert in this. I don't know what the difference is, but he asked, do you like your pizza in New York style or Chicago style?
I I like New York style. I mean, deep dish is great, Chicago style, but I personally am a big fan of New York, and I like pineapples also on pizza if anyone's curious.
Okay, that sounds nice. Okay, yeah, I think we can wrap it up here. Thank you very much, Sue. That was really amazing. I think it would be nice to continue this maybe on a monthly base or
I
something
love
like
that.
this.
I love that.
Yeah, I think a lot of my Patreons they're invested in
Yeah.
Hut 8. Right now we have like more than 1,000 Patreons here.
Oh,
I think
wow.
it's a great community. I mean, the last few weeks were tough, but yeah, it helps when there are other people's you can talk to when times are difficult. But yeah, I think we will have this turnaround soon, and that we will have fun again very soon in this space.
Yeah, and again, that's why I wanted to come on because I know how hard it's been. Like I said, guys, like I'm an investor, my dad's an investor, my best friends are invested in Hut 8. So I get how hard this has been for all of us. And that's why I wanted to talk to you guys. And I'm more than happy to talk to you once a month. Again, love your channel, love your research. So you let me know. I'm free anytime for you guys.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, then I wish you a great weekend, and yeah, hopefully we get this turnaround in Bitcoin and these stocks, yeah, very soon. And yeah, I think the future is bright for these companies. I'm very big in invested in these mining companies. I really love this space. I
Mhm.
really love this energy component here, and yeah, I think it's going to be very big. But right now we're very early, and it's a little bit difficult, but yeah, it can change soon. Okay,
Okay.
so
Thank you so
thank you very
much.
much. Bye, Sue.
Bye.